Okay, so after finishing the code along, I decided to kind of stop instead of going on to async await, which is what we're going to do next week. And that's just another way of writing asynchronous code. And I thought this would be a great time to actually get some hands-on experience with writing asynchronous code. And I kind of came up with this idea of an asynchronous workout concept. So in this case, you're going to set up your week 12 folder and don't copy your ending code from your private repo because we're not going to do this week. We're going to walk away, I think probably for a couple weeks from the Carbon Footprint app. But inside your public repo, then create your standard index and main.js. So of course this is the video. So I'm going to show you the output and then we can come back and just hit on these points. So here's the concept. Now I ended up playing around with my CSS mostly because it was fun and I thought I would do this, but you need an input, right? Now in this case you could specify the type of exercise by, other means other than I'm just doing an input box. I am only using required. You could absolutely write some custom validation. But let me just show you if I go like pull-ups, right? I do 5. Now in this case it says in minutes, but I ended up coding it so that it's quicker. I could change this to seconds. That'd be one of the things you could think about. And when you hit submit here, you're going to have some code that's synchronous, which means it'll output as soon as you hit submit. But then once the time is up, then you will get another message out on the DOM. Now this is just a heading that I put out there. So once I hit this, right, start pull-ups, goal reps is 5, and then stop, right? So that's the functionality, right? This synchronous, this asynchronous, right? This happens immediately as soon as you hit the submit, and then you'll use a callback with the set timeout like we saw in the code along with color code to create this functionality. So we've already learned how to use set timeout to simulate the idea of a asynchronous call. All we're doing here is just saying, okay, now that you have the concept, let's take it to the browser and play with that. And I thought the idea of a workout, because you're working it out. So coming back over here, just to be clear, once a user inputs the required fields, right? So those are the required fields that I've shown you. You can, like I said, you can play with what those are and how you have them. Then output synchronously, right, to the page, something that tells the user to start, and then something that tells them to stop. Again, you kind of saw how I implemented that. And now here's the other deal, is first get that working, right? And then, right, add something new to this code base, either output or form. So I could imagine as I was looking at this, like one thing you could do is do a drop down here. The other thing you could do is you could do another set timeout that actually would output count actually the there's that. You could change, what I did here is I didn't even put this in there, but you could play around with CSS to make it look a little nicer, right? You could have different output messages. I mean, I just want you to take, so first, of course, get this part working, right? And then again, use timeout and callbacks to create the shown functionality. I'll update that. So I've given you a link here to set timeout, but that is what I want you to do. Using functions, by the way, you do need to have functions using handling this code, and the reason I say that is you have to use callbacks. Okay, so once you attempt it, I need to update this. This is week 12, right? My code attempt before reviewing other students' code, and just like you've seen me do before, right? First do this, post out there what you think needs to be done or what you've started. I think getting some code at least started. Again, refer back to the little code along that we did with color code, right? And then I will have posted, I should have updated that too, like I've been doing, in the next item so that you can review that and then come back here. And that is a key, right? If you're doing the solution as I show it, right? I would say you can code that up. I still want to see something new, right? Play with this, add some, and in your post, make sure you tell us what that something new was that you added to that. Okay? All right, have fun with this. I hope this takes the idea and helps you really understand synchronous versus asynchronous, because we're going to be talking and coding asynchronous for probably the next 4 weeks. And it is an important part of understanding. And by the way, on just to end with this, on Color Code, his website or his site on YouTube, Color Code, he talked about that he did this series, right? And you're welcome to go check it out. He first had 10 and then he added more to it. I definitely think it's worth checking out. His code is really good, and we're going to end up using. I believe we'll do promises next. We'll do async await. I think it's promises, async await, and then fetch. Those will be the 3 that we do over the next couple weeks. All right. I'll talk to you later.